Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. I just adjusted our audio. So those of you who are in the audience, please let me know how the audio sounds. Like like Elsa's level versus my level too. Um, Holy cow, everybody! The energies are so intense right now. I was just talking to Elsa before we came on that about 30 minutes or so, like a wave of like this, it feels like kind of like anxiety. It's like right up here, kind of anxiety that just came in for the planet. And like, I mean, I don't have those experiences. So when I feel them, then I think, wow, the people that I've been talking to that have been having anxiety stuff, before this period of awakening that they're in now, probably are struggling. So I just want to just let you guys know that you're not alone. And also those of you probably noticed, like, I'm having this weird acne on my neck and it's going into my chin area, but it's weird. It's not acne. It's like these little, it's like flesh stuff that's coming out. It's part of the purge, and it's like all around behind the ears for some people too. I had it a little bit a while back, but just this is something that I just started getting. And like, you don't have to feel bad. Look, I got it. I'm live. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there too. But so I am so honored to get to have this awesome week where I am able to speak to my lovely friend Elsa from Down Under. I just love our conversations. So she's joining in at 5 o'clock in the morning right now. And it's just such an honor that she gets up and participates. And thank you so much for joining me today, Elsa. How are you?
I'm good. and so I'm only on my first coffee, so I'll build up
Right.
as Mila starts speaking. I'll hear what she has to say, and well, you called this decoding, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about decoding, you think decoding, you just think it's for now, or the information for now. The most amazing thing about meeting Mila is that it's on show to show others how way back this has been setting up.
Mhm.
Whether our souls set it up, the cosmos set it up, it doesn't matter who set it up, but it has been set up. Code is cod. Cod is salmon. Salmon is one of our big discussions on one of our first shows together. The scale, the balance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to decode is two codes come together to understand. It's knowledge.
I love that.
So, yeah. And to decode is what they used to do on the pyramids. It's what they did in the Bible. They wrote it down because they had to get it off their chest because they thought they were going crazy. This bush, every time I pass it, it catches on fire. It starts talking to me. So they decoded. They wrote stories and things like this. So this decoding will assist those going through everything now.
Right. Right. And it's this is the book people want to know about. They're like, well, there was no manual for life. Well,
I
yeah,
can't
there
find the
is.
book. Where's the book? I think the closest book would be that one that you have, the one that you open. It's got all the drawings in it.
Oh, my
Those,
sketchbook.
they're the books. They're the go-to books. But the
Right.
actual the
And the
life
challenge.
one is there is none.
I got pages. You can't even see it, but like I got pages and pages from just this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the book. And we're talking about it. Alive. We do this so you can also, because Elsa and I will like, we won't really share too much with each other before a meeting like this. So you guys can also see how we do it. Like it happens in the fly. Because and also when we have these conversations before the show, then what happens is then it's said. And so the urge, the compulsion, being compelled to talk about it isn't there anymore because we've already released it in our earlier conversation. So a lot of times, anyway, that gets to, you get to see how it's done while we
Yeah.
do it.
It was like that's the last episode. We're already on to the second
Yeah.
episode, but um, that's why, as getting to know Mila and doing these and seeing the reactions I get and the reactions Mila gets afterwards, it is more important that it is fresh.
Mhm.
And even when I actually go back and listen to them and pick up stuff because it's so fresh, it's like it holds power in that. Yeah, I totally agree with what you just said. So true.
Yeah.
Not talking beforehand, just coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sad when it happens. I love our conversations that we have privately. It's also sad for the reason that you said. I like to go back and listen again too, because we're having downloads while we're talking. And so while we're talking, and so you're distracted so much that you understand what's just said, but then it's so easy. It's difficult to recall the conversation, at least very clearly, right after, because so much came in at the same time, so many different energies, and yeah, it's I and also when we do that, a lot of times I forget that we haven't already talked about that. I forget that it's something to still talk about. Like you just it's done.
When
So
you go into a dream state where it codes you and then it only leaves the highlight ones that you need to be like, I want to remember it all.
yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's, I can't explain it. So I'm gonna follow your lead on this one
Okay.
because
I I got some stuff. I got some
yeah,
stuff. I'm
yeah.
excited. Man. Okay. Well, first of all, for those of you who are just joining, we're in an energy shift right now. It started, well, it's so funny to use the word started about any of this stuff. Like we'll go, but anyway, another shift that was really noticeable and strong started about 40 minutes ago or so. Um, and in that shift, a lot of like anxiety, maybe even longer than that, anxiety like feelings started to come in from the collective. It was just like whoosh. This also happened on Friday so I'm talking about Central Standard Time. That's where I live. But it was around 5:30 or 6 on Friday when that also occurred. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you guys know that just happened. So if you felt that, you're not alone. And I'm having this weird like throat chakra area purge. What's going on in the world around us? Mercury is in retrograde. We're in Lionsgate. Lionsgate's not till Thursday, but it's on for us because we're in the northern hemisphere. Elsa here will be having it, the day before us. And so I also noticed that the Lionsgate energy is now, as soon as it's available on whatever time zone is first, right? And so a lot of us are already feeling all of this stuff. And then the new moon that we are still in the energy of that is really impacting a lot of this stuff. So we're going into go within. Like Elsa and I were joking about before the call. I have still not gone to any of the stuff I've written down. It's kind of funny. Before the call was that we are all noticing that we're pulling away from the collective. Like it's time to take a break. And that's got to do with the new moon too. This is introspection and this is calmness. Thank goodness, because there's a lot of things not to be calm about right now on the world stage on purpose, right? And so a lot of us are like not going to the shops, we're not going to the stores. Like I was telling Elsa, I'm like, I can have it delivered. And because of lockdown, it's still in there. You can write no contact delivery and you don't have to talk to anybody from this outside energy. And so this is the Lionsgate window starts on July 26th and goes until August 12th. So officially it's been going on for a while, but the closer we get to the 8th, the stronger it gets, right? So do you mind if I keep going, or do you want to add to any of that?
Okay, I'll just add to the dates.
Yeah, please.
I'm in 7/7 day. Tomorrow is 8/8 day. Gigi's birthday is 888 again. So you're seeing how the numbers, I don't know how it works, I don't understand it, but I do know that it's made me, brought it to my attention at a need-to-know basis time where they do this like cute human with me. You go, we're just going to tell you 2 days beforehand, just so you don't make a big deal about it. So
Yeah.
today in Australia, I'm in heaven. So it's the two numbers facing each other, mirroring each other. It's a reflection, and this is why there's chaos. Is that many are seeing themselves in the other version now, and they're going, what? And then they're going to come into the 3 gates.
Yeah.
This number 38 was very important for us when I was meeting Neff, the 888. It was literally a code for us daily. And then we had again the, I have to say, it was actually the code of our home. 888 was the code on the gate to Sedona.
Wow.
Weird, right? Sedona is the home we lived at. Sedona is where we've taken our horses back to. The owner was kind enough to say, would you like to put your horses here for grass? Yeah. So we've been taken back to the meeting of Neff. It's not Neff, it's the meeting of the icon, meeting of the message, meeting her. Yeah. So then we go the 17th of the 8th, which is 888 again. I don't know. So Gigi's a lion. Like she's always been a lion. She's sleepy. She's pretty. She's lazy.
Now I got the song playing in my head.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, because this 7/7, it didn't hit me till yesterday. Yeah, because you know how big I can't really get into the whole gate thing, but the gate thing's huge for us at this home and the Sedona home and the last. All the gates were important. It was like this symbolic thing. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And all the numbers do connect. I saw Susan said something about, the new world is the number 8. For a lot of people are seeing that 8 is also the new world, because it is the end of karma. Even the muggles, the non-magic folk, right? Talk about just at the beginning of this year that it realized it was 8, and that it's the end of karma, was what these people who don't normally use these kinds of words were talking about it. Like mainstream people.
Well, this is the other thing that I found weird was that the world population went into 8 billion just over the December, January. You know, they don't get exactly the day, but it went from being in the 7 billion to 8 billion. I was like, really? How'd they plan that one?
Yeah. It's all orchestrated, this grand design. Oh my goodness.
It is. It is a grand design. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's puppeteers and Muppets, doing all of it. I just think it's too great for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's a point. You just made it, is that we're starting to more and more realize, or I don't know, maybe just accept, because, all of us have been conditioned to not be, full of ourselves. We use whatever word it is, but no matter what culture we talk to, for the most part, in modernized culture, the vanity window or button is a scary one. You avoid that, and being, arrogance and stuff like that. And it's assumed arrogance if we're being what we call grandiose, assuming that we're in a story that's bigger than we could imagine, when we're actually noticing, all of us, you all here too, that we're the characters in some of these ancient texts, that these texts that they're called historical. Perhaps they were, perhaps they're just simply repeating. Who knows for sure? But I can say that we're in the story now. We're in this new world story. It's the other side, or moving into from what people used to call apocalypse or the end of the world is actually the beginning of the new. It's the all this a new stuff. Elsa has freaking I've contracted the anew. Everything anew is everywhere. And now there's all this stuff of like understanding what Anunnaki really means, stuff that's coming out in mainstream, and just all of this amazing stuff. And okay, I just gotta go here because I keep going to it in my head. Is this stuff with Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn is the age we're moving into, the Saturnian epoch, rather, excuse me. And this is a window of time that is, the age of Aquarius. But apparently, it was approximated to start in around 2100, not 2020, but it started at 2020 anyway. And so now we're doing all of this, and we're in the experience of Saturn. So any of us that have Saturnian, elements very strong in our charts and astrology, when Saturn's doing something in the heavens, when Saturn is what are all these things, we notice right away. And we're noticing more and more. Everybody knows about the Saturn return that happens, around the time 20, when you're around 29 years old or so, and then it happens again in a cycle. But here's the thing: is that Madison, my daughter's always been obsessed, always, since she was a baby. Obsessed is the word that I use, but she talked to Saturn since she could talk. Like, Saturn was really important. She always talked about Saturn. He was her first imaginary friend, and in the time that she's been interacting with Saturn and having slight anxiety regarding Jupiter and its storm. This has been a theme of my life for 10 years, or 8 years. It's 8 years. It's been a theme of my life for 8 years, Elsa. Another 8. And it's 48 people here right now. Go ahead.
So Saturn, had this dark energy being broadcast about it, which is fine, but that's just there at that realm. And I keep saying, do you really honestly think it just stops there? So yes, there's that story that gets that versions have had, and they're so ingrained, and they really did happen to that happening. But then there's other versions, and this is what this collapsing of time has explained to our family, is that yes, there's that, but keep going. Just keep going. Before this, before language, before humans, as we know humans, because humans have had many versions. So this connection with Saturn, it's satisfying, it's completion, it's dark. To be Saturn is, correct language of it is spin soul. And we've been suppressed for some time, and they allowed this suppression for whatever reason. But now Saturn, you can't stop the big two. The Jupiter and Saturn, you can't stop them. Jupiter is to Peter. Peter is to Pi Ta. So it always comes back to Ta, because Ta is in us, is we're the wet ones, we're the moose. And it comes into us, and we have the 4 humours, which is the wet 4s of us. And it's the different bits of tars that land on us integrate and create us different creators, and that's how we have the different maps of each of us, because we have different bits of tar in us.
Right.
So when you think of stardust, you're full of stardust.
Right.
And so what happens with mucus? You sneeze. Because you don't need that stardust anymore, or that stardust didn't resonate with you, so you sneeze it up.
Yeah.
And So you got that going on. And then you got the other ones that are in us and things like this. So this is what's happening. They're leaving. And this Saturn and Jupiter, they're the big guns. They're the ones that they say they created the all our planets and things. So this is where water comes from. No wonder she's connected to Saturn. This is where hydrogen, frozen hydrogen, comes. And again, this is need to know basis. I didn't know this until this year, and it's not brought to me through ETs. It's brought through NEF. So I'm like, they really did know stuff, the Egyptians. So,
wow, yeah, they did. They knew, everything. Like just you can go through all kinds of examples that people knew about things that there's no way that you would, like what Elsa talks about a lot with her topography, the topography of the planet, the mapping that she does. Like you can't do that from it would be really super difficult. I can't imagine someone could do that without being above the ground. You know what I mean? Like you'd have to coordinate it somehow. And why? That's the other point, is even if you could figure out how to do it from the ground, why would you do that you can only see it from the heavens, from above?
yeah. Well, okay, so the last video I put out with Bob, you'll see hot air balloons, the blimps. Blimps has been a big one.
Yeah.
And blimps comes through on dates that Mila talks about a lot. And it's around the 1800s. 1800s comes up, they mark 1800, 1808, 1888, all through here. And it's like when Australia got founded and all this. And it doesn't gel. It just does not resonate with me. How they used to get around, and they're in quite a few films, and this will start a whole new topic, Mila, is the blimps.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And they were the ships, and this is the only they were everywhere, and they were part of the Tartarian. I don't know if they're connected with Lemuria or not, but they say, how did they travel to these lands? They always talk. So when you think ships, humans go, oh, on the water.
Right.
Yeah, but in all these movies we've been seeing, they've got blimps, right? The Mummy, the Golden Compass. How do they get around? So they have, what do they do? How do they get rid of blimps? Because they realise that blimps are free energy, and it's they can't control it. So how do they get rid of it? I think it's called the Lindenberg. They have a big crash, and guess what? They just happened to have footage there.
I know.
I mean, they didn't even have cameras back then, but they had footage. And it was like this really long footage, and I was like, really? And it looks like, you watch it, it looks like September 11.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It looks, the energy of it, I just go, really? The whole setup? So I put I have a look at the footage, and there's something being shot into it.
Yeah.
Into the balloon
That
to
makes
make
sense.
it crash.
Oh, wait, yeah.
I'm just wondering, am I the only one that saw that? Because it's weird.
I actually had trouble about that. In
you
school, in school this lifetime, in this country, at least the states that I went to school in, they were very aggressive about talking about this. Like usually a subject of history, you'll only cover it, for one period of your life, and then that's just how the school system works. But it worked. They covered it like every semester. It was you saw some type of something about it, and then the teacher would remember this, and this is what happened, and everyone knows about the voiceover, or the person pretending that they're freaked out, and it bothered me. It bothered me too. I remember seeing there, it looked like something, and I got sent to the principal's office because they were showing footage about it, and I'm just me, and I'm just like, hey, this, because they wanted to know what anybody noticed about it, and so I said what I noticed about it, and then I got in trouble, and they sent me to the principal's office.
You go principal's office. You're too ascended. Go to the office now. Go.
I was there a lot.
Send all the ascended ones to the principal. It's funny, right? Well, but you see, when they, that's what I'm saying. This whole thing is they're really unspinning themselves now because everything that comes out, you just go, really? Really?
Right.
Because you've made such a mockery of us. You've made it so easy for us to go back on it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were expecting this to happen like this.
Yeah.
I think they
No.
were expecting this huge uprise with us coming with our shovels and pitchforks, you know.
Yeah.
But the unfolding
Torches.
on themselves, yeah, you don't need to do it that way. We don't need to create a war. We just unravel what you raveled.
Yeah. And they're trying to. Now they're like, okay, they're doing warmongering kind of stuff. I won't repeat any of
Yeah.
the stuff that, because I don't actually know the words anyone's used. But yeah, it's being encouraged. It's like, aren't you guys upset? Aren't you gonna fight now? Come on, like trying to stir that energy in us.
Okay, well, so yesterday it said in the news, it flashed up on my Facebook, Legionnaire's disease in Australia. Worst in 20 years. I went, hang on, didn't we just have that other thing, the big C? It's the worst in 20 years. So, but it's not even in our news, it's in the UK news. I went, oh, here we go. So I read the first comment. The first comment goes, the only virus in the media is the media. And I was like, oh, that's a great first comment. So see how they would never allow comments like this before. So see how they're now playing out a different unravelling. Anyway, 2 weeks ago, there was footage of farmers in our local area where they were filming and helicopters were spraying into the water. Then our local shire comes on as a representative for all of Australia saying how all our waterways are contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's Legionnaire's disease.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's the hugest outbreak, but only 2 people have died that are 98. And I was like, not taking away from anyone that's 98, but 2 deaths is not a huge outbreak, but how they've made it in the media. So I check on what Legionnaire's disease is, which is a virus parasite that causes it. Let me tell you, it was very hard to find out which one it is. And the one that gets rid of it is turpentine oil and chlorine, MMS, is just to assist because our children have this same acne thing that Mila has. And one has gone through puberty and one hasn't. So I'm just saying it's hit. This is how I know it's not menstrual, it's not age. I don't have them on my face. I actually have them on the back of my leg. I was like, what is... And they're the sores that won't heal.
Yeah.
They take like they look like legions.
Right.
I'm just sharing because it's, it is what it is. It is what it is. And they're, doing their stuff to show us. You can get over this. You don't have to go and get medicated. Or the other one is wormwood tea. That one's a big one. That one seems to knock them all out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I rambled off. I've probably taken you off your list. Go back to your list.
No, it's all good. In fact, it also brought up what really needs to be heard. It's really helpful when someone else is going through something to, realize that it's, something that other people are having happen, which, this all over just different parts of the body stuff that you're talking about. Like it is something that's occurring. And like for me, started happening about a week or so ago where just these little like bumps, like blackheads kind of things. And then there's fleshy stuff. And then, eventually you clean it off. So you scratch your neck and it's like, oh, wow, here comes this fleshy, whatever it is. And it's just happening right now. A lot of people are having it. We're having an experience of external anxiety, and it's not really anxiety in the way that it's just, you feel the emotion of it and it doesn't have any place to set on. There's no reason. It's just this emotion, and these different ascension symptoms that people are having right now. The tiredness, the back, the lower back stuff was weird when that came through for me, because I don't typically have that kind of. It was like I was walking like an old lady. I was leaning forward when I was walking, and just a lot of people are having this, headaches and stuff too. So everyone knows that you're not alone in this. And going along with what you were, I'm going to trace way back. I'm going to go way back for a second, because okay, first of all, the Tartarian stuff. When you're talking about the blimps, I remember it being. I don't know how I remember, but I remember it being like they were just really common. They weren't common in my lifetime, though, according to what I understand, um, in this lifetime. And there's been a lot of stuff coming in lately about it, like images of like, look, they used to charge over there between these two buildings. That's why they had the peaks. That's where they would charge, and these buildings still exist, and that they just are considered or seen as old ways of using architecture, or perhaps maybe lightning rods. Like they look like the insulators that you see on the electric poles around here, the glass insulators. Only they're shaped like that. They're all over the place. And I got to say one more thing. This is just commenting on what you said, and you can say whatever you want to it. But the stardust, Elsa, this stardust stuff, okay, so 2, 3, 4 p.m. right now. The stardust that you're talking about, scientists just came out just like this week or something. It could have been a little sooner, earlier than that. And openly are talking about how, because we've known that they've been learning how to contain more information on a smaller space, in a smaller scale, information storage systems, for like computers and stuff like that, right? Well, they figured out that they can put the quantity of information that they can store in a single cell is, I don't remember the number, is as much as when you do the math. Hey, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in Charmony land. Thank you, Miss Diamond Heart 888. There's the eights again. Is that and then you multiply that by the number of cells that a person has in the human body, and that is exactly the amount of information so one human body stores. It's the identical number. I wish I wrote that down. I'll find it sometime and bring that up again. But it's the exact amount of information that is in the cosmos. It's provable now. It's exactly the same number that we have in our bodies. We contain the stars, all of the information of all the stars. We're not even talking about like physical stuff. They're talking about the information of it as a storage system body. And all of this stuff's been coming through lately about, your water's memory. When you're mostly water, speak kindly to your water, it hears you. When you speak unkindly to your water, it shifts and warps and dements itself, and all this stuff. It's a thing. And now we're else is talking about sneezing out the stardust, like this has all been just the past couple of days. Maybe it was just yesterday was a big day. Yesterday was like 9 days altogether. So I don't know. There you go.
So this is where we get the word fine. So it's fine. Stardust is fine. Star fine. Find, fine. Like now you're hearing this word fine, right? It's, you get a fine? No, it's fine. You're fine. This is stardust is fine, and the stardust is finding us. And you're attracting your stardust to you. So if you have a certain type of stardust in you from when you were born, now with the way the world's spinning and the solar flares, it's coming to you. So you're calling in more of your planet to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's magnetic.
Yeah.
Mila, it's magnetic. We're the moose. We are the moose. This is what we're known as. We're known as mollusks. This is how we started before, much before we were ants or humans. I said it. I said the ant word. No one's squirting me because you're all asleep.
Yay, you're free.
Ha ha ha. I have to get up early to talk about ants. They're like, how many times did you say it? I'm not telling because you'll squirt me.
Answering Maddie's new episode she's making. The theme of Maddie's new episode is ants.
Oh, she's so cute. I love that. She'll have to say this show's dedicated to Elsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are the moose, so the moon means we're the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Moose. Moose. I don't know how Moose and Lemuria are connected, but it's definitely the lost land of Mu. It's all there. Mila's Kakawa is telling us
Yeah.
it had the two M's in it. You know, the places we're going has this language in it, literally, where we're driving to, where we go and do our shopping, or where we go and pick up produce or pick up things for the horses or the chickens or go and buy a duck. These places, the land is speaking to me the same way Mila is talking to me. It's saying, did you get it, or do we have to send you on another mission?
Right.
These lands are Odin's lands. These lands are the whale lands, where the whales moved through, whether they were walking on land then or whether they were swimming. And it's amazing. And this Odin came about through Mila sharing, and her knee, her star burn brought through Odin. And we were the ones who are hearing the words of Odin and Tar and all this that we talk about, the dragon. They'll be able to assist all the others. Because not many people are, some people I'll talk to about the same topics and you'll see them and they're just not there yet, and that's okay. But Odin, we were like I felt like we were putting to training last year when Odin came through. Right. I don't think whoever they are, I don't think they thought we would be able to handle it.
Yeah, because there's a
Is that how you
pullback
felt?
too. Yeah, it was like, okay, yeah, man. Remember that was the bulk of that was during that September window too, where I was like, I wasn't there. Like there was so much. I just kind of stepped out and went to the void, and someone else. It was still me.
Okay.
It was just. Yeah. It was weird. Like. Yeah.
Well, sometimes I think it's too much for the body, so they just put her on pause, and we'll just borrow all this for a bit. We'll just load up her consciousness with all this, and we'll put her back in there in a minute. And so you felt it and acknowledged it and are able to share it, so to help now assist those going through that sort of thing now.
Yeah. It's that we're the pre-waivers. I remember that was around the time I asked, because I was like, what is the deal? Because like the reason I was concerned enough to ask Spirit was that I started to wonder, am I manifesting this? Because as soon as I talk about it, all of a sudden everyone else is dealing with it. Am I? Because if I'm causing this, let me know. I'll step back. That's what I was asking Spirit, And they're like, no, you're a pre-waiver. And I'm like, well, what? Because there's waves. Everyone goes, that's always the water and music is how Spirit talks to me a lot of times. There's visuals and stuff, but those are like the main themes of everything, And like you'll see a wave and that's the water. Anyway, and what they were showing me was that there's waves of understanding. Every time that we get something in a global way, it's a wave, and there's left foot, right foot, they're still from the same body. they're still the ones trudging forward and walking. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking it in.
And so,
You know what we are? Well, I don't know if I am, but I know you are definitely. You're the kid on the school bus hanging out the school window, and the bus driver and the teacher saying, "Get back in the bus." You're like,
yeah,
"Hey, how's it going? I'll catch you after school. I'll see you tomorrow." Like, get in the bus. And this is what I felt happened to us last year. A lot of people said, "You're coming. You're sharing too much information." And I was like, for you, but I'm having to follow my calling. If I suppress it, my mouth swells up. So I'm like Neil, I'm following the calling and sharing it with those that want to hear it. If you don't want to hear it, and I'm sharing too much, press the red button.
right.
The eject button.
Eject.
We just disappear. It's magic.
Right. Right.
But there are people there that need to hear this.
Yeah. Mm.
And even if it's just for the recording for later on, I might not be around to verbally speak or be on a live with Mila, and those people will be going through such hardship that they'll need to hear something like this.
Yeah.
So we follow our calling. Yes, these 2 hours or hour and a half are always jam-packed, but even if they only assist me when I go back and listen to it, that's one person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's
totally
that
worth
it's
it.
healed. Yeah. Keep going. I want to keep hearing your list.
Well, I got that too. I actually have been adding to the list since we've been talking. I've been getting that too, is that, and that's the pre-waiver part, is that the documentations that we've made are like a year ago, are the ones that are going to make sense to some people who are just starting to understand what we're doing. Like, not to say that they're new in the awakening at all. It's just when you get the code that you need, then the other parts can be understood differently. It's the difference between uh, providing or teaching a concept through nursery rhymes, like colorful, bright pictures and a storybook that just has a couple of words at the bottom, so it has really basic and concise, to understanding the concept of weather modification. I mean, I don't know why I use that word, but just something that's more complex. And so that's the level that each of us find ourselves in. And once we get to where we can understand it in a more complex way, then we'll go back and we'll look at information and we'll see, now we understand how it fits, we understand how to make it seen as well. The school bus, Elsa, this is one of my big spiritual experiences that won't go. That, how you have a thing, everybody has these moments in their life, and like, you just never forget them, like, and it was a dream probably. I had another one I need to tell you about later too, but this school bus one, it came up again when I was in Houston last December or so, maybe November.
So this is so what Mila's talking about is a repeat feeling or a repeat dream or a repeat visual that happened to you. Which one is it? So I can, because we'll what we're going to do now is we'll decode it together.
Okay.
If we don't get it now, we'll get it later.
Okay. So what had happened, it was a dream that wasn't a dream, because when I woke up, I knew if I was there, it was a thing that had happened. You know what I mean? There's a difference. We can tell, that this dream happened in 2009, probably. It was before 2012. For sure, but somewhere between like 2007 and 2012, but probably 2009, 9. The dream was that I was with a bunch of other kids and I didn't know them very well. Like, they were different heights, so it felt like we were different age groups. And there was this concrete like thing that had been erected that was really tall, like a castle. And it was at the top of it was a place to stand and to stay in while you wait for the school bus to arrive. To get down out of it, you would have to climb really a treacherous, kind of dangerous path down to get to the ground. There was also a wooden roof on it, but it had open, there was no walls. It just had four poles. And the concrete created a like balcony railing thing. And anyway, I was tired of standing with these other people in this dream. Like they were annoying and their energy was just getting to me. And so I'm going to go do my own thing. And so I started to climb down, and I knew that I needed to be up there when the school bus arrived. If I wasn't up there when the school bus arrived, this wasn't school. This was about, if I didn't get there in time for the school bus, this had to do with my soul. This had to do with my soul's mission, and I would have not succeeded in my mission if I didn't. But I couldn't stand being in there. I was like, y'all do your own thing. I'm out of here, and and then people were like yelling down at me. The other kids are like, no, hurry, come back, get back up here. What happens? And we've been waiting forever on this platform. And the platform was probably 3 stories high, maybe 2.5 stories high. I climbed down, finally got down. I scraped up my knees and stuff. And I put my feet on the soil. And like it was in the middle of nowhere woods. And there was a road. Anyway, just as I barely put my feet on the ground, and I was so glad that I did. Then all of a sudden they're shouting, the bus is coming, the bus is coming. So I climbed back up as quickly as I possibly could, and I got there and just in time. And what's crazy about this is before and as soon as we began to be get onto the bus, and everyone was like, haha, kind of a thing that the other kids were trying to make me feel bad about it or something. The person that was a teacher, because it wasn't the driver of the bus, started to give me praise. And I had, instead of being a student now, like I thought I was going to go do, I am now a teacher because what I did. I was supposed to do that. And it was like, and I was rewarded for it by saying, screw you guys and your energy, and you're all trying to make me feel fearful, and I'm out of here. And as soon as I left, then that was when my mission really did start. And it had to do with the school bus. The school bus was yellow, and it was shorter too. It wasn't a very big school bus. Your audio's off.
My reoccurring dream, I've just brought up in a couple of interviews, is one where I was waiting for the school bus. How is this possible? So mine was just this dream of my high school waiting for the school bus. I got photos waiting for this school bus. Sorry, the coffee machine. Kids are waking up. Yeah. So what I did is I went, well, like you say, well, am I creating this, or do I need to step out the way? Anyway, I went and did healing on the waters there, never had the dream again. This one, if yours is different, you're waiting for the school bus, getting annoyed with the others. Because school means to see the cut or the mark or the ones.
Huh.
So you see ones. So because you could see the other ones, you were getting annoyed with them because they were weighting you down.
Yeah.
You said these words. What's weird is that you're up on this tower, which is unusual to catch a bus. That's why I'm starting to think maybe this is, like you said, the blimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a bus.
And it met the level, but I had to. The road was really far down, but somehow it was right where everybody was at.
Yeah. So this is again happening in real time. We just talked about the blimp, and then you remember this dream, the bus. This is because this is what they used to call blimps, buses. A ship and a bus. Yeah.
Right.
So you're hanging out the blimp going, yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow.
Right.
And it echoes through the hills.
It does totally.
Tell that kid to sit down. You know what's funny is the bus driver engaged with you, and my bus driver is the one that used to. His name was Albie, and he was crazy. He was crazy, great crazy, and I'd come on the bus, and he'd always hug me, and he says, "I love my smiley," and he'd always pat my hair. And he goes, always smiling, no matter what, rain, hail, shine, you're always smiling. And then someone will walk past and hit me with their bag in the head. And he goes, look, she's still smiling. So that's the whole bus knew me as Smiley from the bus driver. Yeah.
Wow.
And so my bus driver and the school bus, and now your bus and the school bus, like, you can't make this up. Why is it coming up now is so that you see the playfulness of it and use it as a tool, and then you just move on.
Right.
And this might, us talking about it out loud and bringing acknowledgement to it, I'm sure will open another huge rabbit hole for the whole blimp thing. But you saw the ones. You're annoyed with them. You are annoyed. So you're having an emotion in a dream. You're annoyed with them.
Yeah. I was very impatient.
And that's how that's how it has felt. You know, we literally have been waiting for something, because we knew that it couldn't continue in this way, because it was dirty.
Right.
How do you play a game where they keep changing the goalposts? It's not a fun game.
Right. Right. It's not fair.
Yeah. You can't make plans if they keep changing the goalposts, whether it's in the monetary system or in the law. In Australia, they change our tax system every year to make it so complex. And Richard just told me they do the same now with our fishing licenses and what fish are allowed to catch. They change it every 6 months. He actually can't keep up. Even the fisheries department, who come and check our boats to say how many fish are allowed to catch, can't keep up with all the regulation changes. Yeah.
And that goes back to salmon again.
Salmon.
You see my list. I have stardust, whale. Oh, whale. So you mentioned moo and whale. I gotta mention this.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you see Vanita said that she had the same dream about the yellow bus?
Yeah. Well, oh. Wow.
Yeah.
This is so. Yeah. Okay. So this bus thing's gonna come up a lot then.
Yeah. And we got to pick up Jana on our way.
We got to pick up.
Yeah. So, and then moo, before I got to say this, before I forget, whale, if you, cause guys, you guys know me, I love the totems when it comes to animals. If the animal comes into your life, all you got to do is go to any search engine or use a book like I do. I'll use a search engine if I don't have it in my book. This doesn't have every animal. And type in the animal and say totem, and it'll come up with the answer. This is the book I use. It's old and it's lovely. I love it. It's my book. And it's medicine cards, just simply medicine cards. It comes with like cards, and then you can read about it. Though, when it talks about moo, or excuse me, when it talks about whale, this is when they talk about moo. This is when they explain the part of the prophecy of the rainbow warriors, the rainbow tribe. The end of the prophecy, the last part of the prophecy is in whale. It says, and then the sun shall weep into the other ocean, and Mu shall rise again. Mu is Lemuria, by the way, for those of you who don't know. There's this whole thing about this, and that we're supposed to understand that whale is Mu in some way. Whale came here through a portal and a lot of water. It wasn't just whale. It was the seahorses. It was octopi. I love saying octopi. It's fun when plurals have a funny sound at the end. I love octopi. And just a lot of different marine life, of course, dolphins and things like this, things that are very obviously higher intellectual, spiritual beings, all came here with the seawater when this portal was open. And whale specifically is a entity that contains knowledge, all knowledge of us, of this planet, of everything before now and after now. All of it is in whale. They're looked at as the swimming library of the cosmos. And this is a thing about whale, is that whale, and let me say it differently. This is the thing about knowledge. For some reason, because the dream state that we are in, this is kind of channeled a little bit right now, but because of the dream state that we're in, when we are here as an entity being embodied by a soul, there's a dream state that we're experiencing. And so if everything is like, you don't hold on to it forever. Nothing in this dream state that we're in as awake beings on this planet is forever. And so someone has to hold the anchor the knowledge here, so it can then be found finally when we are getting to where we're getting now. Like I still feel like often that I'm talking through some type of a dream. Like you're waking up. That's why I say good morning. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. Because every time in the show, we're waking up, all of us. Like, I mean, Elsa and I have been doing this for a little while, but we're still in the present tense. We are waking. We are in the active doing it. We're still waking up. You heard the coffee grinder in the background, as a perfect, note of that. We're still rubbing that sleep from our eyes and trying to remember our dream. The dream is what was before we came here. And so there's a lot of really big stuff about this right now. Oh my, and water. Yeah, Elsa wants to talk. Go ahead.
So we were asked not to, for a long time, not call whale, because whale is the calling of pain. And now I know why, because of when you just said whale. Whale is the memory, the two piercings of, so it's man, moose story, soul. So soul's moose story. And this is why whale can hold it, is because you imagine how much stardust is in one of those guys. When you see him come up next to the boat, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stardust. You just go, you actually, the humility that comes over you with a whale coming, because it's one thing to look up at the stars and feel humility, but when something surfaces and makes eye contact with you, that is like an encounter. Like, yeah. And it's always, they're so cute. They always let you know, usually with breath.
Yeah.
Like, they break the water with the air coming out of them. And you can feel that energy. And then sometimes they just won't show you them, but you can hear them under the boat calling each other, singing. They're singing. Oh. So they share the memory through the water, like Mila collects her memory through the water. And we all collect, excuse me, our memory through the water, because the water is like the Akashic records. So incorporating with the stardust creates intelligence. And so you brought up how they're saying how we can hold information. Mm-hmm. And I've heard Mary talk of this as well, how much one cell can hold the whole of the internet on it. So you really start to see, this maybe the Matrix, where you are a battery cell because you are a cell. You're two shells, you're two hulls, and we are evolving as all species are evolving, and when you meet the whales, it's not like they're special. Like they're doing their thing. They're going through this ascension process too. You know,
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of them are being beached and things around the world. The fish, all the fish, everyone's going through this ascension process. Horses, dogs, cats, pets. So many people. You're going to have to start. I was thinking to say this to you. You might have to start an ascension symptoms just for pets.
Right.
People have pet stuff going on, you know, like how people, because a lot of people don't have children, they just have pets. You know, they're fur mums and stuff, fur dads, and, you know, they're all going through it. We're all carrying this dust in us mixed with water, and we're all ascending together. So the more we help each other, the more we help the land, the more we... It is working.
Yeah, it is.
Jack came home.
Yeah. What an
You know,
amazing celebration.
yeah, to me, this was one of the big, this, you know, happened because I had this vision or prophecy that he was going to return and things would change when he returns. It would speed up.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
was the 14th of Feb. But I didn't know how he was going to return. So I really had to let go of that one because I didn't know if he was going to return in spirit.
Right.
Oh, that was so hard. 3 years of just having that, you know, having a vision but not wanting the vision to fully materialize because I wasn't sure of the outcome.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
so the relief,
Yeah.
you know, of, oh, he came back that way. Oh, good. Because,
Mhm.
you know, there's the human side of us too.
Yeah.
Because so all this stuff that Mila's talking about and all this code, she's saying, okay, now it's happening do I step out of the way of it? Am I creating it? I don't want to cause harm.
Right. Right.
And you can't step out the way of your own path.
Right.
You can step out the way of the path of someone else, which is what we should do. And being a mum, you don't always do that.
Yeah.
Or liking all the, you know, things in a certain place in the house. But you have to step out the way of others' paths. You can't step out the way. If someone's asking you to step out the way of your path, you really have to ask, what's their agenda?
Yeah. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, but I keep getting, your path is set. You cannot waver. Like, it's like, screw around all you want. You're still going to get to where you're supposed to go. And so it makes it easier knowing that, because there's not any, oh no, are we going to, you know, it's just be and just do. And like when you release, like what we think is control, we find control because of this, you know, like, and so I've released control and like need to control things, and then just the things that need to come up. It's like all of a sudden it's like everything's lining up for me to do this thing now. Okay, I guess I'm doing that now. And before you know it, you're doing exactly what you needed to get to where you knew you were supposed to go, but you thought you were going into the weeds, way off course of your path, when in fact that place in the weeds that you went to was a charging station or a collecting of tool plates, like in a video game, a side mission. Then it brings you right back on course. There's something that I've been skipping comments because I wanted to bring this up. We were talking about whale, and I'm so, and you saw the comments probably too, people saying so happy about Jack being home and stuff. That is really an amazing synchronicity and a knowing of the time we're in, you know, and we start talking about whales and the behavior, And this is timely. Many whales and dolphins back in North England this summer. Usually it's too cold. It's too cold usually for whales and dolphins to be in North England, but this year here they are. They're in North England. They're being able to migrate to places they don't normally go, or it's too cold to go.
So water temperature really doesn't change that much. So why don't they want to go there? But now they do, because there's a shift in the energy. And this is what's happening with the meteors and the asteroids. They're going, oh, they like us now. Let's go closer. We'll sprinkle more fairy dust on them.
Right.
And this is what's happening. The law of attraction, we're building up our vibration in all of us. We're all building, whether you think you're not, it's changing, and it's calling them in closer. It's this confirmation from home ed mum, who I adore, Sam. She, her and I had whale communications for years, and since went on social media, and this is a really good thing that you brought up, Mila, about the whales. Is why are they now coming into these colder areas? It's not the water.
No.
It's us.
Yeah.
And you'll go, oh, it can't be us. Well, these whales and dolphins are going, all right, well, we'll come back next season too. We'll show. They're not going to stop their path now. But they weren't going there for a while.
Right. Exactly.
Because it didn't feel good to them.
No.
Because if you know Moo's story and you're holding it in you and you can feel it, why would you go to somewhere where you know it's not welcome?
Right. Like, that makes no sense.
Well, this is like your school bus. You had to climb down the tower because they were annoying you.
Right.
You're like the dolphins. I'm not going over there. It's not fun enough.
Right. And the theme, there was this person that was there was a ringleader of fear of the kids. Is that, like, if you didn't stand a certain way, you fix your hair. Oh no, make sure that you're tucked in and all this crap. And everyone got consumed by it, but it was never part of the criteria. We were never required to do any of the things that this person was saying we needed to do in order to be favored by the school, or whatever the reason that we were going on the school bus. And it's the fear-mongering crap that, turning off the freaking news. Just turn it off. I know it's weird. We're taught. Something came through just a few days ago. I was having a really amazing experience. And the end echo, there's always an echo that comes from after an experience. Like, you hear the residue of an echo in your brain chamber. I don't know what it's called. And it was this whole, wow, I got distracted about the echo that I had yesterday, and I totally spaced what I was about to just say. Let's talk. Can I jump completely off topic?
We're time jumping now.
Okay.
We're time jumping our pages. How many pages are we going ahead?
Man, now I got 4 out here. I started with 2. Okay. The echo I got that came from last night's experience. So I had a different, the one I was telling you about, this dream about the school bus, I had a long time ago. It's just that it's kept coming back. Like, it's kept over and over again. This one last night, this morning, I was talking with a family. I was in their home, and their son was very eccentric and very starseed like, and it was interesting because when you first met his dad, you thought, wow, he looks really young for being gray. Some people go gray early. The son was gray too. He also had white hair. It wasn't blonde white. It was gray. His hair was gray. The wife, the mother of the boy that was about 11 years old, she was blonde. She was human. I knew right away, though, I was talking to ETs. And the exchange that happened, their superpower, they live among us now. They live among us now. They look very much like anybody else except for their hair color. And their superpower is great intelligence. This whole exchange happened. There was a robot that started to die, and I knew somehow that we needed an empty syringe to like suction to reactivate its breath mechanism. And the mother was becoming very distraught and upset. She was holding a baby. She had like a 6-month-old baby as well. Um, and I went and got that. I saw the syringe sitting around, so I went and got it. And when I came back in, the robot was acting like a human dying. It was distressed breathing, and the woman was very alarmed. She was very upset, and not doing anything, just mournfully watching her robot pass away before I activated its breathing mechanism again. There was more to it, but as I was coming out of it, I knew that I just had a real exchange. This was a real exchange, and I didn't even know it in the moment until I was coming back. I'm like, oh my gosh, they were ETs. They were ETs. Hey, I just looked up, and we've been talking for 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds just then. And the echo residue that came from that knowing was, what does it have to be? The Bible stories, what does it have to be? Just either like they're gods, a story about gods, or a story about the planets? Meaning, why not both? Why are we interpreting the Bible as if one or the other, when in fact it was both? Gods with a lowercase g. And does that make sense? You're at your mouth open, so maybe you know what I'm talking about. You're taking a second. I can't hear you.
So you bring up echo. This is really important. The echo is today, so 7/7, and so the echo. So the echo is heaven, heaven. So, or balance, balance, or pi. This is today's date. Then we go into the Lion's Gate, which is echo, echo, echo. 3. It's 3 echoes. So it's repeated 3 times. Then that phase goes all the way to the 17th.
Okay. Yeah.
So is it ping-ponging between the dates, the energy, what happens in that time frame?
Yeah, and it gets bigger each time it echoes back.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is whale, right? This is echo sonar. But you'll be doing it through the energy of you. You won't actually have to do much. It's just the energy of what your prayer is, what you're walking into. So this annoying kid on the bus who's telling everyone how to be and saying, I want you to walk this way, is they're trying to, it's like trying to give you a program through force and through making you feel uncomfortable. And this sounds like pretty much what we've all now unfolding and unraveling is now we're going, you know what? I'm just going to go and walk my way. I'm going to go and buy this thing. I'm going to go down the road and do this. I know I wasn't supposed to do it now, but I'm going to follow my calling, because who knows what was on the path? Cosmos is setting me up. I trust Cosmos way more than I trust you guys, because it's not working. I wrote down, so as you said, echo. So then I wrote Bible, and Bible is always bile to me. And I do not mean this in any respect to any religion, but Bible is bile with B taken out. The way I wrote it, I'll I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. So I wrote Echo, Bible, Bile, and I looked down and Bible goes 666. When I look at my words, how I've written it, it looks like.
Wow.
Now this goes dark, right? It's not meant to be dark.
It actually doesn't go dark. I'll show them that in a minute. Go ahead.
And I'm okay with dark. I have black hair now, so I'm all right with it. Bible, when it goes 666, is also notes. It's the 6. It's the musical note. It's the sperm.
Right.
But it's 666. It's 888. It's Heaven's Gate days. These 2 days, the reason they knew about these 2 days coming, they knew this day was coming.
Yeah.
They knew that Heaven's Gate, they knew this echo would now. You said it was on the concrete tower.
Yeah.
It's cemented in. It's a new understanding. It's a platform for others to go from here.
Right.
And it might take a year for this all to absorb into ourselves, but it will.
Right.
It just is.
It just is.
It just is. It is because is us. It's the ones. And we can see the echo of, you can't have the pendulum swinging one way and have drama and chaos and death and all this and not have the other side. Because it doesn't work like that. It needs both ends. So when you hear someone preaching doom and gloom and all this, like that kid on the school bus, there's always the other side. There is always the other. If you don't have the other side, they can't exist.
Right. Yeah.
So either way, it's a win-win, right? Either they don't exist, or so see, it's like an infomercial again.
Act now. There's more. Yeah. Oh, and it goes back again to salmon. Salmon is the example of what it looks like for us to ascend. Salmon goes through this crazy transformation. I don't know how many of you watch the salmon run. It's like a theme for my world since I was, in my early or late teens, I guess. Anyway, the salmon will change its color to this crazy color. Like this, it's on fire kind of orange. And then it gets this crazy hump on its back. And then these teeth come up and they're like dinosaur teeth. And they kind of like even poke into their own eye. And they just get aggressive and they're just angry and they don't know why. And they're like biting on each other's tails aggressively and just rah. Like they're just, I don't know. And while they're going through this metamorphosis, they don't know why. They have no understanding of why, but they're compelled upstream. This is where most people do see the salmon, because you'll see on like National Geographic kind of stuff, you'll see the salmon like going up the waterfall, going the wrong way up the waterfall, like trying to swim up, right? They don't know why, but they're compelled. Oh, go ahead.
I saw one picture. This was amazing because, I was talking to you about cod and salmon and the scales. And I saw this picture of the salmon, and obviously they had, because damming is a big thing, right? And this salmon was jumping up into a pipe.
Right.
Even the concrete couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
It's still following its calling. Like, you imagine for a fish to jump into, so you've got beautiful water and then to jump into something that's hard and concrete, but it goes, you know what? Because it will look like a spaceship to the salmon, but he's jumping into this tunnel, right? Because it's his calling. I don't care what the other salmon say. I have to go.
Yeah, a place they've never been before. I have to
follow my calling. Yeah.
They don't know.
It's
they don't
amazing.
have reference, because when they left where they're going, they were still eggs. So
So it's a leap of faith.
Hey, an
So
actual leap.
they're trusting in their own intelligence. They don't need to hear it from the school.
Ha!
They go, well, they don't, because you said they grow teeth. I go, I'm going to get that. So they go, I'm not waiting for the school bus. I want to get upstream. So they're on a mission, and their mission is their calling of the stardust in them. And the stardust interacted with the water. This is where they get it from. This is where and this is where we get it from too. They've just switched it off. That's all. They've just tangled us up. And now we're unraveling to be more like Mila's picture behind her, which is just 8 all over it. It's just everywhere. A whole bunch of 8s. It's just a big 8 party.
I just realized etymology is ET first. And that means like breaking down a word. What is it? What's mission? What does mission mean, Elsa? The word mission.
It's ions is me. That's my first one. Ions is me. Ions is the moos, ions, atoms, stardust. That's that, and you'll have atoms and cells in your body, and sometimes you actually don't need those ones anymore, and they're okay to let go of and die. But your body is super clever. The spleen, they class as a super organism that can, if it fragments off, it can actually regrow.
Right.
They don't tell you this stuff, right?
Kind of crazy.
It's a super.
Awesome.
So you are the hero, literally. You are the hero because your body can do all this stuff as long as you know you can do it. If you're told you can't do it and you listen to that kid on the school bus.
Right. Yeah. And then
you're going to miss out on all the fun.
Right. Sorry, can you say that again so that other people can hear you? I think I talked over it.
So if you listen to that mean kid on the school bus, he makes you feel awful, but you follow his path, wow, that's not going to be any fun because it's only going to get worse. I mean, if it's worse on the first calling to follow his path, which is no different to that thing that I said in the media. They put out something in the media, and are they going to buy it? Are they going to follow it?
Right.
So they're creating it, so that the public all read that, and then they go, "Oh, I have this. I have this." No, you don't. You don't have that.
Right.
This is what it really is. You don't have that. You're okay. You can, and even if you do have that, you'll be able to deal with it because you have these organs in your body that are super clever.
Right. Well, that's the whole point of the 6. You just circle it right back to 6 because 6 means incomplete human. Your dormant DNA is in dormancy. Your 90 to 95% of your DNA that we were taught growing up was junk DNA that I never bought. That also got me a lot of trips to the principal's office too. Like, I just couldn't stand having my peers be lied to. They were just blindly accepting this information. I just look at them like you're lying to them and they believe it. Someone's got to tell them it's not true, and
I can see you at school. The teacher would even get to the stage where they wouldn't even have to say anything. They just point and you're like, all right, I'm going.
That did happen one time. I walked in and she's like, out. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. Out. Okay. After a while, I wasn't allowed to be. History class was a big deal because they were lying a lot. And now all the stuff that I knew back then, I don't know how I knew. And that was the part of the thing where the teachers were like, how do you know that's true? Kind of thing. Yeah. It's like, I don't really know,
So is it the teacher going down the list in the lunchroom going, who's my students for the year? And they go, oh, no.
Right?
The
I think the
history
only reason
teacher's
I
like,
passed that
no.
class is she didn't want to do it again with me. But yeah, she
It's
would just. The principal said you can't send her to my office anymore unless she actually violates something. And so she would just put me in the hallway and mark me as absent. And I didn't know that she was marking me as absent until the end of the year. I almost failed.
so you got put in the corridor, which is the spine.
Yeah.
We don't know what to. So we don't know what box to put you in or what class to put you in. So you'll just have to stay in the main stem of it until class is over,
Right.
because we don't know what to do with you.
Right.
And this is kind of how a lot of us have felt over these years. You know, we're the ones they throw in the corridor
Right.
because they don't know where to put us.
You're not buying any of
Yeah.
the brainwashing.
I've had
What
a
do we do
school
with them?
principal say this to us. They said, we can't let your family do what you do at school or behave the way you do at school because all the other parents look to your family and will follow. I was like, okay, now this is,
Yeah.
babe, can we do homeschooling now? Please, can we do?
Right.
This is not a good. This does not. She even is admitting it's wrong.
Right. Right. Whilst with
Because
the
this
other
isn't
child,
healthy.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. It's funny. It's that happened because of Jeannie, little Jeannie. You,
Really?
yeah, Jeannie. Jeannie went to school for 4 days,
For 4
and
days?
she gave, yeah, and they have in Australia they have to interview. I don't know if I've shared this story. It's funny. Have I got that? I'll be quick. They said, yeah, you have to go and meet the deputy principal. So Jeannie comes and meets the deputy principal. And I did warn her. I said, look, we've never been to public places much or hospitals or government organisations. So she's, oh, well, you're not allowed in. This is what this city sort of person said to me, the deputy principal. And I said, well, she hasn't been alone with another adult like this before, so this is kind of like interrogation. Are you sure you don't want me just off the site? And she goes, no. And Jeannie said, well, I'm not going in the room. So Jeannie starts saying no. I've never heard Jeannie say no. I went, okay. So the teacher says to me, okay, you can go sit up in the back corner in the little library section, but we don't want to see you, so turn around. I was like, okay, this sounds weird already. So Jeannie goes and sits up the front with the teacher. This is before they've started the school year. This is just an interview.
Yeah.
For public schooling, by the way, not private schooling, public.
Wow.
Yeah, weird. We've been in private school and we never had to do this because we really want your money. But the public school, so Jeannie sits up the front and then they start asking her questions. They said, so how many brothers and sisters do you have? She goes, no. And she says, what's your favourite colour? She says, no. And I'm hearing this going, uh-oh, I've never heard Jeannie say no before. And then the teacher goes, she starts going through her question list and you can see the teacher malfunctioning. Here. Her glasses go a bit crooked. And it's not fitting the formula. And Jeannie, I think she asked her like 30 questions and every single one was no. And I went, oh, this is really powerful. I got goose pimples telling the story. Anyway, the teacher said, I might need you over here now. And I was like, are you sure? Like I was teasing her. Are you sure? And she's like, yes. Like really angry, this teacher now, and deputy. And I go over and sit with her and she asked her more questions and she went, no. And I went, okay. Well, I don't think this is working. So if this is a problem, Jeannie doesn't have to begin school. And she goes, it's not a problem. It's just I don't know what to write. She had to write so many. I get out the classroom and I said, are you okay? And she went, yes.
Now.
I said, you're funny. You're funny. She goes, I didn't like the way she was being with me. It didn't feel right. And I was like, wow, you're a powerful little kid. Poor teacher comes out, all her hair's messed up, crooked glasses. So Jeannie was only at school for 4 days and created absolute havoc. She cried the whole time until she was in the other kids' classrooms. And if they didn't let her go to the other kids' classrooms, she would cry and scream. And the teachers would have to take her out of the they call it kindergarten, and put her in, Jet's class or Gigi's class. And she would have to be with them the whole day. For 4 days, she went into all these other classes, and she actually learnt stuff in those classes.
Awesome.
Yeah. But the principal called us in and said, this is not how schooling's done. And I said, maybe, well, it works because she's actually learnt things. She got an award she actually still brags about this award because none of the other kids got this award, and they went to school for 6 years.
Went to 4.
She calls them stupid. But what I'm saying is, she's like the Salmon. She's like Mila. You guys are annoying. Enough's enough. I'll go and climb down the tower and I'll wait for you guys to get ready. When you're ready, let's have some fun together. Let's share information. Let's support each other. And then go on and do the same with others. Yeah. This is the new way. This is how we heal. This is how we respin the matrix.
Yeah. And releasing it out it's 333 right now. It's so funny. And 99 degrees. It was 88 degrees when I woke up today.
Echo, echo, echo. How many echoes is that now? Whoa.
So many.
That's a lot of echoes, right?
The last time I looked up at that ticker, it was 1111. I don't know, 1. Maybe there's like 5 ones. Man. There's so much.
I don't even feel like we talked about any of the stuff I wanted to talk to you about.
I know. I was just looking at my list. And I'm like, well, there's so much that it's all happening right now. This is something that's really, I forgot I even wrote this one down. The repeat, you're talking about echoes and repeat too, and it's perfect, is the mirror. You said something about a mirror, and this magic mirror thing is a theme from my childhood when I was, as you guys know, I was trafficked, so there was a lot of stuff that was happening in this earlier stage where adults around me were engaging in some crazily unstable energy, that people sometimes would call dark, or dark arts. I mean, anyway, there was always a mirror. There's always a mirror. And that fact that you brought that up was really, we're in a 100-year cycle again of so many different things. The 100-year cycle started from, remember, Elsa, I contacted you in January and I'm like, I don't know why Spirit told me to look at the Olympics. And we looked at the Olympics and it had been exactly 100 years. And before or since the Olympics had been in the same place in France. And it was doing it again. It was happening again. I didn't know that. I don't watch the news, especially then. I've seen a little bit of clips the past few weeks, but at this time I hadn't seen any clips of anything. Spirit told me, go look. And then the connection happened. And now all these other 100-year cycle things are happening. And they keep calling it a reset. So then there's also, this is a 100-year cycle, or Pluto further transmutes the energy that's happening. So right now we're in a Plutarian 100-year cycle right now. It's causing this Jupiter Saturn. There was a Jupiter Saturn grand conjunction on Christmas Eve 2020. This grand conjunction was brought through. That's why I started to talk about the dark crystal. The Dark Crystal, I hadn't watched that movie since I was a kid, but I kept seeing the Grand Conjunction, and I looked it up, and we had a Grand Conjunction And it was with Saturn and Jupiter then too. And Maddie's always going around talking about the red dot, red spot, red spot, red spot, red spot, red spot. And red spot means Jupiter. Jupiter has a red spot, but it's like a button, a red button that you push. It's like this whole thing right now. Why did I cycle along that far? I don't know. But the 100-year thing and France, and right now, during Lionsgate, during Mercury retrograde, during all of these things, we're having a meteor shower right now. It peaks on the 11th. You can see it after midnight. All of this stuff is happening right now. And that's why they said, look at this window of time. Tell Elsa. And so I did.
Yeah. I remember the Olympics, and the Olympics is very similar to Mila's drawing behind her as well, so that's quite
Right.
funny. Mirror is, when you said it, is Mu gift. So it's the ones seeing the ones. So it's self-seeing self-seeing self, self-seeing the acts that you do, and then being aware of it, and then being able to then, your next act, just be conscious in it rather than be on default.
Yeah.
And this is where the self-power, the ascended ones, this is where they come in, Yoda, Kung Fu Panda, all those guys, this is where they come into themselves.
Right.
Yeah, so it's this continual, like you said, it's one of the sixes, it's the balance, which is the two sixes. When you put two sixes together, is an 8.
Right.
It's cute, right? They're just like, really? Can't they see it yet? Oh my gosh, I can just see them laughing at us. Really? Okay. I do. I look at all these words and see what's going on, and see it actualizing in the family and in our day-to-day. And no matter how much I'm not allowed to talk about this stuff with my family, it happens. I get the phone call. One of them will come in through the day and go, "You'll never, guess what?" And then they look at me and they go, "Oh, you already know, don't you?" I have to really try and hold back, as let them share it their way, but it does actualize in your life. And then so see, after this, hearing this conversation with Mila and I, just allow it to sit in you. Don't do anything with you, and just see what you see through the day. You might have then start seeing things that might trigger in you, a spark in you. This might happen for you.
Right. And rather than dismiss it, sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, rather than dismiss it. Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you what, the naughty kid screaming out the school bus window is way more fun.
It's so much. Dude.
It's so much more fun.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with that one.
Yeah.
Rather than all sitting in the bus, being perfect, looking straight ahead. I mean, come on. That's not us.
The teachers often will go to great lengths to get the individual, the outlier, to conform. And I think it is because, well, there's a variety of different reasons. But the main one is that the others will start to do the same. If you just let them do what they want, the others it'll spark them. Just, spark them enough to awaken out of their trance, and to no longer just go blindly following the lead of someone else who's also blind, and that I do homeschool with my daughter, and yeah, it's sometimes there's this whole conversation of like, would she, because she's a very social person, and it's definitely difficult to be able to have, you guys have a lot of kids, so they have playmates, and she doesn't, as much. It's harder to, because these other kids are so conformed too. There's like, she wants to talk immediately about ETs and planets and these new exoplanets, and just she wants to talk about meditating and chakras and superpowers people will grab onto, but they don't relate to her. They want to talk about the newest video game. What's the most recent thing on the screen? And so it makes it more difficult for the child who's not in school and not been forced into a mold because they haven't been taught to pretend along with the others. Now, is that a problem to solve? I don't think so. I would very much love to be around more individuals of her age group that she could play with, you know. But this is a place where I was too. I just am that person where, I mean, I was talking about this with a group of people the other day, is that when beatings would come in, I would laugh. I'm that person. I've been able to be that person for one reason or another. When the teachers and the people try to like force me into a mold, I don't. I will at first. I think I'm being polite and then I'm done. Like.
So done. So done is June, which is the essence, which is tar. Dune is a big movie for me. Done is also my backbreaking. Done is the ever-changing sands of the dunes. The constant change. And so when you're saying I'm done, you're going, that storyline's not for me. I've got all this over here. I've got this Sahara desert over here. Why would I want to go that way?
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to build sandcastles over here. Yeah. And this is where little Maddie has started a channel, because she has no channels at the moment to share. So now she does. And she'll become a creator. And whether it works this way or another way, or whether you start actually meeting groups, or whether you travel with it, I don't know. But these children, they will do it because they need it for their souls too.
Yeah.
And this is through this feeling of loneliness will create a great gift for others, because she'll be able to help others through this. And we've seen other children do this around the world, and in Asian cultures as well, with doing sessions and stuff. We've heard them starting to do these things around the world, around the globe. And they don't have to be big groups. They're just small groups that these children come together. And this is what Maddie's doing now. She's going, well, I can't share with you guys because you're annoying. You're the annoying kids on the bus. I've got to find the bus that's fun. The one that's going on, I want the bus. Where's the one that's going on the excursion?
Right. And so she's having these group meetings with kids now. It's really cool.
Yeah, and this is where you don't need to school your children. They will become the school. They are the school. They will teach us. And this is get out of I've got to school my children. I said this to someone the other day. Harvard, which is, very infiltrated, but Harvard prefer homeschooled kids over private education children.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So when you get that whole, they've done private schooling, if you've got homeschooled, they will put you at the top of their list of interviews.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is in quite a few Harvard papers. So I was like, see?
Yeah. That was true in my school, too. I was called homeschooled, even though I wasn't, until I started school when I was 14. I was counted as homeschooled. I didn't really know anything. Though later on, when I was in college, and one of my professors of the first semester I was ever in college for found out that I had been in homeschool, he got really excited. Same thing. He was like, "Oh, homeschool
You're one
kids
of them.
Smart, awesome. You're gonna be fun," and like it's because the first couple of years of a higher learning is what they call it for when you go to college or something. The first year or so is teaching that person how to think. The emphasized using your critical thinking. How do you use critical thinking? What is it? Those types of things, and doing these little like exercises. That's the main bulk of your first season of school. Isn't that just like Yoda says? First, you must unlearn to learn.
So you said you went to school at 14. This bus, how old were you on the bus? Because mine was 14. I was 14. This
Really,
recurring dream of waiting at the bus stop. And I go, really? This dream again?
I
I
would say
wouldn't,
I
I,
was probably around that age, probably a little bit younger than 14. I could be between 9 and, you know, about 12 or so, somewhere in there, I would guess.
yeah. So weird. It's just age, the how our body works and the cells in our body.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, we've probably been talking how long? I don't put my glasses on at the end so that I don't have to read it because I
It's
have
been an
fun.
hour and 45 minutes, and it's been a really fun conversation. It's so funny because like I'm literally going, but what about my notes? And we just don't have the time for it because it wasn't supposed to happen. But I do want to
Yeah.
finish the statement about sixes. The incomplete human with dormant DNA is 6. However, the complete human, when all of your dormant DNA has come out of dormancy, is then activated, it's 8. 8 means human. That was what I wanted to say before. And we
It's the
have this
gate.
thing about, yeah.
So we're here. So
Mhm.
we're heaven today. So heaven is seeing heaven, and then tomorrow, well, I'm a day ahead, is the gates. It's the code. It's the gate code.
Back to salmon.
So I said to Mila, because it kept coming up about the M's, 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 and I said to her, Richard shot things that make you go, but I know it's Richard photographed this huge band. This was the album cover. That's Richard's photos. That's what I'm
Really?
saying. Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's for the data beings, because if you're at data being mode still, the data beings, they need to still have proof. And this goes way back. This goes back to like 1998, I think. 1998.
Really?
Things that make you go, yeah.
1998 was a very big deal year.
It was a big deal for ET activity around the world. 78, then it went and skipped to 98. And then it went into shh up until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
The the block of time 97, 79 for me, because I was born in 79 and my year of graduation from high school was 97. But it's interesting because 1 year different right there. And like the year before I was born, and then it's the year after I graduated that you just said, that time frame.
The schooling again.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't go to school then, though.
No, not until.
The non-schooling. So one more thing, the thing about Mila, that this was what triggered me to Mila, was her smile, first of all, and then she told, like, I didn't know about her whole history, which is full on, like, it's amazing. But she told me she wasn't allowed to play with the other kids. She would only play out in the street in the dark. And this was what attracted me to Amelia's voice, and her story was that she wasn't afraid of the dark. I was. Amela would play in the dark. So the Fae, the ETs, all the beings that come out in the dark because it's easier, they were her schooling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hanging out with you the whole the whole way. They were guiding you, and this is how I knew something great was coming between you and I, being friends and sharing.
Yeah.
It was always bigger than us. It was the others.
I had no idea. I knew it was important. The day that it was an open mic that I met you, and it was someone else's channel, and I knew that I was going to do it. I knew it was big, and then I was on. I didn't really talk much at that point. I hadn't yet, and then Elsa joined, and I like when she came on, like there was a connection with her as well as our Icelandic friend. You know, like there's this that had happened. When was that? Was that July? I think it was in
Not,
July.
yeah, it was. So open mic. My dad's name's Mike. So Mike is Michael, which is Archangel Michael. So open mic is spin cell angel, angel spin cell, angel spin, something like that. But it was like a open mic. I was like, oh, this sounds like something. It's calling me again, following the path. I've never been on an open mic. I didn't even know you could go on an open. I didn't even know how to get into an open mic session. But this is how we met. So this is that following your calling again. So whatever feels right now, follow your calling. Follow your calling. It will help you. And stay calm. Yeah. Don't lose it with the others that are spinning off. Just stay calm.
And there are a lot of bliss people out there. Like I even saw comments about that. Like my experience is that I have a neighbor who's very much into all of it that I'm not into. You know, like the density and the story, and like she shouts the news at me in a panic rush of just quickly trying to, you know, she'll mention a news story and I'll say, I don't watch the news. And then she'll say, well, it's all over Facebook too. And I'm just like, I don't engage in that type of Facebook, you know, and like, so then she'll just panic tell of all the stories of all the this thing and that thing and this world event and that political thing. And it's just like, it's so for me, that's right next door to me. And but she's spinning alone. There really are a lot of people who aren't participating.
Yeah. Well, I've got someone who has come back into our lives, and he does this too. And a lot of people call it the verbal dump.
Yeah.
Because it's a dump, right? And then I'll allow them to have a little bit, and then I can see where it's going, and I'll say, you know, there's always another way. And then they hear you say it, but they continue the dumping, and then you hear this like ping, and they go, "What do you mean? There's another way?"
Right.
I go, "Oh, you heard me." I don't know if you heard me or not, but then I start to play with them like how I'm talking now with you, and they go, "Oh no, but this is serious," and I go, "Yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious about this. This is how we live. We don't live that way."
Yeah.
But yeah, and we won't repeat that way either, because you're doing such a good job at it.
Right. You got it covered.
You got the whole thing covered. I mean, you're better than NBN. You've got it.
Right.
You're like every channel.
All the time. Yeah.
I mean, you think I'm multi-dimensional? Listen to all the channels you've just said.
Right.
Oh, it's funny. It is funny.
Did you see the comment? We were calling you. We mentioned you, and here you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
Mila, for having me.
Thank
you
you.
for being the friend that you are and being there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the ascension symptoms and being so honest with us all. It's hard being honest, you know,
Yeah.
about all the physical things, because sometimes they're embarrassing. Yeah, they just are.
Yeah.
But
They are.
yeah.
Until you find out everyone else is doing it too, and then you're not embarrassed anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
and the chicken and the cat. You just go.
yeah. And they're having ascension symptoms too. By the way, before we go, I would like to say this. It doesn't matter what type of crystal you use. So I'm grabbing a couple examples. These both have points, right? That's an example. This is also an example. Using a crystal. So let's say this is the animal's back. This is like their head, right? The top of the head. You want to just trace down their spine all the way down and as far to the tip of their tail that they'll let you get to. This will very quickly they'll want to lay on their belly, they'll want to, or lay on their back, so you'll do it on their belly, and caressing with crystal for these fur babies is helping. It's helping. And so we are all having ascension symptoms. The higher beings are having ascension symptoms. What we're doing echoes for everybody. So like there's never a spot that's not that there's never a vacancy, I guess is the right way to say it. And so like as we ascend, those that and there's no above or below, but those that are, we would use the words, they're below us, then move into the place that we've just left behind. Cha-chunk, cha-chunk. And so do the ones above us. And so everyone's
Dragons. Dragons. We haven't even touched on the dragons, but yeah, this is drag ions. This is the drag ions. This is the drag ions. And they're the ones they carry code too. They're the Loch Ness. They're the whale.
Right.
This is the word you said, reset. We don't call whales whales. We call them setter beings. And reset is soul set. They carry the code. This is why Mu is so important. Yeah. So everyone's, how everyone sees yellow cars? Everyone's going to be seeing Mu. You'll see the cows. You'll see M's everywhere. You'll start looking at your hands and you go, I've got M's on my hands.
Yeah.
How did I get...
Yep.
A lot of people carry the 2 M's on their hands.
Yep. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And the double M is also, so when the M traces itself, like Wonder Woman upside down, the symbol of Wonder Woman that is an older depiction of what they would show for Aquarius. Now there's 3. It's like they've tried to confuse or throw us off the course of what it is.
Yeah.
And so they've added.
Well, it's a spine going up. It's DNA code. It's your background. So, again, it's all before us. They just keep telling us it's not. So when you hear that it's not, then you go,
Yeah.
Sneaky. Caught ya. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot more to talk about. We've run out of time. The dinosaur thing.
Have fun with tomorrow.
Tomorrow is going to be awesome. So tomorrow for you is Lionsgate. For us, it's not quite Lionsgate yet. It's
heaven.
Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 7 day here, which is yours tomorrow, and then 888, and then it goes to Gigi's birthday. So.
That's right. And there's a lot. I don't know. We'll see if I can get more of this. And the Kronos and the Titan. There's so much, and the dinosaurs and the dragons. But
so will you have, in this time frame, will you have a few group meetings and things? Will you? Have you got a few coming up, or are you going quiet?
Yeah, I'm actually sorry. I was reading something for a second. I'm going live every day this week, or not going live every day this week. I'm going to be doing a show or a group every day this week. So tomorrow I have got Guardian coming on to the show, and we're going on at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Time. That'll be 3 a.m. your time, Elsa. So you'll probably be asleep, but probably not. And then it'll be a conversation. And then the next day on Lionsgate. By the way, the show we're going to have tomorrow is going to be awesome. Guardian and I haven't connected for a long time, and just like Elsa and I, this stuff just wells up. And then when you only meet on a show, then it just like while you're on the show, it's kind of cool. And
His
then,
dynamics with yours is quite. I do love the convo with you two because he's so calm, and Pamela is so blah blah blah, and he's just so calm all the way through.
yeah,
It's so much fun to watch. He's lovely. Yeah. Sorry,
he's
I had to
fun.
say it because he's fantastic.
He is. He's so much fun. When I first started to interact with him, I used to say that I felt like I just got done talking to Spock, just because he's so balanced. His energy's so balanced that his emotions are balanced, and I'm like, woo, 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 um, and he's also going to be doing a channeling for us. It's a free group thing that we're doing on Lionsgate. So the day of the show is tomorrow, though, and that's on YouTube and Facebook. Then the next day on Lionsgate at the same time, we're going to be doing a free Zoom gathering where Guardian will go into the channeling state and connect with the Syrian collective, the Tehute. They're a collective of 12 that are these wise beings that you can ask any question you want to, though you need to be there to do it because it's not recorded or aired. It's considered private. And so if you want to participate, you would want to join during the time frame. And the link to that's already in my YouTube uh, community section as well as on Facebook. And then that evening, I'm going to be leading a group meditation. You can find that link in the Telegram group. That'll be at 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 Pacific Time, 12:30 a.m. UK. That kind of thing is going to be really good. So, and that just when I do when I do meditations, I don't actually do them. The first time I was really encouraged to do it was Archangel Michael kept really pressuring me to do it, and then I finally agreed because I wanted them to be quiet. And the night before I was trying to prepare for it, and Archangel Michael came in and said, "What are you doing? You're not even going to steer. Calm down. You're not even going to steer." And so it's a channeled group meditation. I step out of the way and we all go on a ride. So I don't know what the group meditations are ever going to be like, but it's always what we need. So that's going to be also free. Donations are definitely appreciated. And then on Friday, we're doing our regular group meeting where at 6 p.m. Central Time, the regular time that we normally meet, we're going to do a group Zoom meeting that's free, as well as just like kind of get together with the home team, with the other family of star seeds, and just kind of have conversations. So that's every day, starting today. Every day we're going to be doing something where you can join us.
So instead of looking at the next phase as huge energy, oh, how am I going to get through this, and playing that one out, look at it more like it's well, in your area it's a summer festival, a holiday up until enjoy it, because there's new rain coming on us from these asteroids, and you don't have much say over it. Just let it come in and allow it, because it knows what to do in you, because you've called it in. What you needed is coming to you, and you have to allow it. But if you get in the way of it, this is when this is why coming in and meeting people like Guardian and Mila on these days, and supporting yourself through this way is a great way, because you come with others, and you realise, because maybe your whole family don't realise you're the only one, so it feels lonely, or you don't have anyone around you. Come into these groups and support yourself through this phase, because it's taken a while for Mila and I to understand. They gave us a year.
Right.
Whereas these people that are coming in, they're coming in fast. So I always like get a little sometimes offended. Why did I have to have so long? The kids go, look at you, really? Look at you.
Yeah, the visual they gave me was the difference between leaning over like a water fountain and getting a sip of water like we did, versus putting your face right in front of a roaring, raging fire hydrant, spraying at high speed, high
Yeah.
intensity,
Ouch.
trying to get a sip. Yeah. Ooh. That's a
Yeah.
lot. And so there's places, there's
Yeah.
support groups is what we basically are, right? We're
Yeah.
groups of people who know what's going on with you, and you don't have to be alone for an hour or two in that time. You can be with others who understand and know you.
Yeah. And this is again the way to go. This is what they mean by community. Yeah. This is
Yeah.
great. And thank you, Mila. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Community in the Lakota, the way means uh, communication in unity. Community means communication in unity as one. That's telepathy.
You knit me. You knit me. You knit me. Yeah. It's a web.
It is. It
Thank
is.
you.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I hope you come on again. Of course you will. I know you will.
Yeah. How can I not?
We'll have to pick up where we left off and probably forget all about that because we'll have more to talk about. That's in a moment right then. Thank you so much.
And yeah, and if you have children, get them to check out Maddie because they need places to go too.
Yeah. Yeah. We do that every other Saturday. We have a Zoom meeting for the kids, and it's been so far a really awesome gathering. It's really helped out. I've heard nothing but good things. It's a little bit more controlled, so you have to contact me, and I have to kind of know you a bit to uh, do it because it's for the kids. It's not for any adults. Um, Elsa, you have a couple of appearances coming up. Do you want to tell people how they can find you?
Yeah, I've got a lovely lady. I'm meeting another farm lady who's, and her name's Karen Holt. She's got aliens and angels, and I've done a few shows with her. She's lovely, very calm again. This calm energy, it's nice. But yeah, again, just coming and meeting people. I just have to say one thing. I thought I was going to go quiet. I thought I was going to do hermit. You know how you call it hermit?
Yeah.
She's gone hermit. And hermit means I just go off into my digging mode. But
Right.
I got 3 cuts on my left pointer finger. They're so painful. I've cut through the nail on my left, then cut through the middle, and then I've got a huge splinter here. And it's so painful, and the throbbing has not stopped. And I knew that it was like I had to come and just point triggers at a few topics in this time. And
Right.
I have to say, after today, talking with you, my finger's not so sore. How I've
That's
healed
awesome.
my finger by just the spirits going, you're not listening, you have to go on. So, you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
happens in your body as well. So they go, okay, let's mark her finger so she sees it. So you can't really do anything through the day because your finger's like, ow, ow, ow. And now I can touch it. I couldn't touch it before I came on. So through this session of me talking with Mila, I've healed my sore finger.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to before we want to go anywhere. There's some people are around you, so that's what I'm doing. I'm listening to you while I'm
Oh,
also
yes.
getting really. I want your link for your YouTube,
So
so I'm going to grab it, and then you go ahead. Sorry.
with the YouTube, we're just putting up our little videos and we do shorts of the interviews and the spinbeings.com. Although I'll click on it and they do this thing that I'm not there, but if you click on it a few times, then I appear. They just do these weird blocks and filters on everyone now. But I'm here. I am here. Yeah.
Okay. And this is, I think what I just
Thanks.
shared is probably a link to a video because I couldn't grab for some reason your actual direct link to your channel.
Yeah.
So something.
Yeah, they kind of block it and things like this. It's all right. I trust so much in the cosmos that it doesn't matter what they do, it will be found. If you need
Yeah.
it, it will come to you. If you need money to do a session with someone or do tarot card reading or do an astrologer, if you need the money, it will present for you.
Right.
What you need will present. Just believe that it will.
Yeah, it will. I just did something just now too. Did you see that? Can you see in the chat? I tried to share your links directly to your YouTube channel. It turned into a whole page of jargon. And it just turned to 101 degrees. There's the ones and zeros. And 44 people here right now. There's a lot of synchronicities. Elsa's really awesome. You can see that, she has the .com. She's got some really cool blogs. You can follow her on Facebook as well. On Facebook, you can find that she posts, and I will usually share if you're on Facebook and follow anything that I do. You'll see I'll share her stuff regularly as well. She's all over the place. And I'm really glad that your finger has been improved by the red dot, the button. That's what we were talking about, Jupiter. And I thought that was really, and you put up your red finger, and I was like, yeah,
Sometimes it hurts a little. Thank you, Mila.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. I love you. Happy Lionsgate, everybody, and I'll see you